And hello, all my fellow nerds out there. This is Orgone Richie, and yes, finally, welcome back to DLC Blue Skies. I know I took a few days off, but that was just to, if you've been keeping up with YouTube news lately, then you probably know why I've been gone. Uh, but I want you, but I want you guys to know that I really do want to continue this series, and I've been missing out a lot. So hopefully, oh, sorry, I'm a little bit tired as well. I woke up pretty early this morning. But anyways, we're gonna be continuing the Yuri route as promised. Let's see. The bus rattles a bit as it trundles down the street, the plastic hanging straps swaying gently overhead. Oh, public transportation, you're always there for me. I can always count on a ride from you, especially when meeting up with a cute purple-haired girl at the bookstore. Ever since I got closer to, to Yuri, I've really been speeding through books. Having someone to read would definitely help with making sure I finish the books, but I also hasn't felt like a chore in a while. Suddenly, the bus lets out a high-pitched whine as it eases into a bus stop. Here's when I get off. Not too far away from the bookstore now. There it is. And there's Yuri. I wave at her, although she doesn't see me. She she fidgets with her hair and glancing around, presumably looking for me. After a moment, we make eye contact, and she immediately smiles and widely and stands up straighter. Hi, Richie. Hey, Yuri. Did I keep you waiting? Oh, oh no, I arrived only a moment ago. Thanks for inviting me out today, by the way. No problem. I was going to buy something here anyway. So, well, let's head in then, shall we? Let's. It's subtle, but I smell the scent of lavender and a touch of jasmine oil as she brushes past me. When- Once inside, that scent blends in nicely with the traces of old paper and ink emanating from the store. There's a sense of calm that envelops us the moment we step inside, bolstered by the quiet, lulling sounds of flipping pages. Plastic covers gleam from the bookshelves as we pass by, and with each and every step inside Yuri seems to walk with a little more energy. A little more energy. I haven't been here for a while now. Really? When was the last time you were here? I believe it was roughly a month ago on a Sunday. Why haven't you visited more often then? You know, it's been busy. I shouldn't be spending so much money on books too. She sighs quietly and runs her fingers over the spines of a nearby row of books. I've been trying to read books online instead to save on money, but instead, in, being able to physically flip through the pages feels so much better. It's as if I just need something tangible in my hands. Yeah, I think I can understand that feeling. It's definitely easier to get distracted if I'm reading something online. Hmm, there's a lot of books I haven't seen before in this aisle. One novel with a particularly ornately designed cover catches my eye. The Awakening? It looks like one of those books considered classic literature. Yuri notices me eyeing it. Oh, are you curious about some of the novels here? I don't know. That maybe that one over there? Why, have you read this book of the a lot of books in this section? She pulls a copy of The Awakening from the shelf. Kate Chopin's The Awakening. I did read this in middle school. To be honest, I don't recall too much about the plot. Hold on, let me refresh my memory with the summary on the back cover. She quickly, her eyes quickly flit over the words on the back, and for a moment later, Yuri looks up with a smile. Ah yes, it's all coming back to me. This is quite an enjoyable read from what I remember. So, what's it about? Uh, well, it's considered a milestone of early feminist literature due to its social commentary and in-depth look into the main character's physique. The novel is about a married woman in the late 19th century New Orleans who struggles to find a place for herself in the restrictive society she lives in. Honestly speaking, I believe I like the book so much because I can relate to some of the themes. Oh? Like what? Well, some of the most salient themes are solitude and the impact of social constraints and expectations. It's easy to find yourself falling into solitary lifestyle without societal support. In a way, detaching yourself from society can feel empowering in that you can take control over yourself anyway from outside influence. But it can also be quite lonely. I can see how that theme would resonate with Yuri so deeply. She must have been a loner even in middle school. Societal expectations present in that era's vision of America's South all work to repress the main character's true desires and needs. Especially the main character is especially since the main character is a married woman who has struggled with gender roles too. So you can relate to some of the expectations of the book's society to our society then. Mm-hmm. Of course, modern day society isn't as oppressive as the Victorian era society. But still, there will always be social norms that people would be hard pressed to disobey. At any rate, Japanese society is rather restrictive in comparison to other countries. You've got that right. When I was a kid, I really wanted to move to America because of how freeing it seemed. Oh, trust me, buddy, it's not as free now as it is back then. Or as it probably was back then, I don't know. Country of rock and roll, right? I mean, it is one of my favorite genres. Rock and roll is really good, especially if you do it right. I don't know about that, but it definitely more a more individualistic culture. Individualistic, more like the angsty teen of the world that tries to be different from everybody else. Anyway, The Awakening is a beautifully written book. I'd recommend it if you wanted to read a critique of society, although the ending is quite depressing. Oh, was that a spoiler? No, you're good. If you're gonna recommend the book this passionately, then I guess I gotta give it a shot. I take the copy of the novel from Yuri and turn it over in my hands. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you think about it. We continue strolling around the bookstore some more, this time looking for a book for Yuri. She pauses at a display and flips through the paperback book with a black cover. What's that book? Battle Royale. I assume you've heard of it before. Yeah, I actually read a bit of it before. I never finished it though. Speaking of rock and roll in America, the main character in it is pretty obsessed with the US. Although I'm guessing that you already know that. Well, I'm embarrassed to admit that I've never gotten to reading it before. There are just too many books I need to read. How about we read it together then? I like that. She smiles shyly, her eyes twinkling behind her bangs. Aww. And with that, we leave for the front counter to purchase our books. The sun's blindingly bright outside, which contrasts against the chilly nature of the air. Would you like to get something to eat? Sure, there's a bakery nearby that's pretty good. They even serve tea. Last time I went there, I had black tea. Oh, that sounds lovely. Feel free to lead the way. Within a few minutes, we're standing in front of the bakery. Though through the glass storefront we can see rows upon rows of pastries and breads. As we enter, a wave of warm air carrying the scent of sweets and teas wash over us. It smells wonderful in here. Heh, if you weren't hungry before, you'd definitely be hungry now. Plus, they have oolong tea here. Really? I suppose I know what I'll be getting. I think I'll have a cup as well. As we approach the counter to order our drinks, the brownies on display once again catch my eye. You know what, I think I'll have a brownie too. I grab a tray and a pair of tongs and choose my own pastries. Yuri follows behind, hesitantly grabbing a tray of her own. Are you getting anything else to eat? I think I'll have a small slice of that vanilla cake. By the time we finish grabbing our food, the line's cleared up. Hi, would that be all for you? I'll have some oolong tea as well as brownie. The cashier quickly rings me up, while another worker bustles away in the background to prepare the tea. And your order, miss? Yuri sets her tray down on the counter with a clatter. Her voice is barely audible. Yes, I'll have the oolong tea and a slice of vanilla cake. Excuse me, could you repeat that? I'll have the oolong tea. Her voice wavers as red creeps on her face, and she stares resolutely at the menu, as if willing to speak to her. Should I do something? Uh, no, it's fine. She needs to start being more independent. So I'd say let her order. I don't want to impose and assume that Yuri can't do anything for herself. After all, I don't want to act like her dad or anything. Either way, it'd probably be rude to cut in and interrupt while she's trying to order for herself. I attempt to smile in an encouraging way, but Yuri doesn't notice as she rereads the menu yet again. Could I get ahem oolong tea and a slice of vanilla cake? She rushes through the last half of her sentence, slurring her words together. Fortunately, the cashier seems to be able to make out what she's saying at this time. Alright, we'll have your teas done in just a minute. Just as the cashier said that, it only takes about a minute or so until our teas are ready. Yuri avoids eye contact as we pick up our cups of tea. With our food in hand, we make our way over to some tables to sit down at. As we walk, she keeps her head tucked down and her eyes steadily trained on the floor. Hey, Yuri. Yes? Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that... She starts playing with her hair and stroking it quickly. Don't worry about what happened. How can I not? I'm completely socially inept. Hey, it's probably worse in your head than it actually was in real life, you know. And besides, you can just keep on practicing. That doesn't help. That doesn't stop me from feeling ashamed of myself. It's alright to feel that way, Yuri. It might be hard now, but I'm sure you'll get better at it over time. You just need to work at it, little by little. Still a bit shaken, she takes a deep breath to calm herself. I suppose you're right. You might not be as good at talking as Monica is, but hey, who is? Yuri glances down at tearing tiny pieces of her paper napkin apart. Your logic makes sense. It's just... She takes a moment to collect her thoughts, gathering up all her litter into a neat pile. What makes me most uncomfortable is the feeling of being judged. You feel judged? You know, like when the cashier looked at me with pity as I stumbled over my words. Yuri, I'm sure they didn't notice at all, or if they did, they probably forgot about it already. It's like the spotlight effect, you know? When you think people notice you more than they actually do. I know, but I can't exactly help how I feel. Regardless, I'll I'll try to be more outgoing. Could I rely on you to help me? Not all the time, of course, but just when I'm feeling particularly flustered. Of course, having someone to guide you always helps, no matter what you're trying to get better at. Thank you, Richie. She smiles sweetly at me, and I can't help but grin in return. It's difficult to stay completely logical when my body is fully panicking. My mind goes blank and the words get stuck in my throat when that happens. And then I become aware of how loudly my heart is beating and of how hard it is to breathe. Does this happen every time? Well, it does when I'm nervous, or when I don't perfectly rehearse what I'm going to say. I wish I could speak half as well as I write. If I could do that, I'd be speaking much more often. Dang, I didn't know it was that bad for her. Yuri, you're eloquent enough when you talk to me, at least. And with practice, before you know it, you'll be speaking in the same way as everyone else, too. Well, I hope so. Oh, I'm sorry for bringing the mood down with this subject. No, you're totally fine. I want to know more about you, and that goes for both things you like and dislike about yourself. And from what I know about you, there's not much to dislike. I don't know about that, but your continuous support is ever appreciated. Don't mention it. With the conversation reaching its natural conclusion, we finally dig into our respective sweets. This time my brownie is moist and thick, the sweetness not too overwhelming. I look around while savoring my bite, chewing at a slow pace. While the streets are dotted with people here and there, the foot traffic has started to lighten up. When I look back at Yuri, I catch her looking at me, her eyes filled with curiosity. Once she realizes that she's been caught staring, she sheepishly turns red in an admission of guilt. I'm sorry, Richie, I didn't mean to... Relax, there's nothing to apologize for. Embarrassed, she glances away from me. Somehow, I get the feeling that she wants to say something, but she's too shy to say it. too shy to say it. As I mused over Yuri's thoughts, I pop another piece of brownie into my mouth. How's the cake, Yuri? Hmm? Oh, it's a bit sweet, but very light. I'm assuming you're enjoying your brownie, judged by the smile on your face. She covers her mouth with a hand as she giggles. Okay, you caught me. The brownie's really good. I see. I shiver as I take a sip of my oolong tea. Man, the sweetness of the brownie really makes the tea that much more bitter. Maybe I shouldn't have ordered it. Yuri sneaks several more looks at me as I continue eating. Does she want to say something? What's up? Nothing. Actually, could could I try a bit of your brownie? She, it's pretty cute how flustered she can get. Of course, but only if I get to try some of yours. I could almost swear that there's a cheeky glint in Yuri's eye as she swaps her trays around for a moment. Yuri's cake is quite light, with a very understated sweetness to its fluffy interior. Huh, the cake is pretty good. Way less sweet than the brownie, though, but I don't know if you like mine. She pops a chunk of the brownie in her mouth as I say that. Man, her eyes are really lighting up. I didn't really expect her to have such a sweet tooth. And I take that back. You clearly like the brownie a lot. Well, the inclusion of dark chocolate does cut through the sweetness a bit. It's very dense and rich, though. You've got that right. We continue enjoying the food and each other's company, slowly passing the day away. After a while, she smiles, tracing the rim of her teacup with her finger. I really enjoyed our time here today, Richie. This is a lovely little bakery as well. I'll have to revisit it on my own time. Thank Natsuki and Sayori for introducing me to this place. Oh, you came here together with them? Nah, I just happened to see them eating here a while back. Ah, I see. But yeah, we should definitely come back here again sometime. Yes, that'd be nice. With our food finished, we get up and throw away our trash. Hey, you want to catch the bus? I think one should be coming around soon. That sounds like a good idea. We settle down on the bus stop's bench, staying close together, but not too close. I nervously tap my fingers on my knee. Looks like I've run out of things to say. But surprisingly, Yuri saves the day by speaking up. Today has gone by much faster than I expected. It seems like only an hour ago that I left the house for a book for the bookstore. She shifts the book in her bag and smiles down at them. I guess that means it was pretty fun then. I suppose. Peering down the road a moment, I spot a glaring set of headlights slowly growing closer. Hey, it looks like the bus is here. It stops with a low hiss. I motion for Yuri to get on ahead of me. Fortunately, it doesn't look too crowded. There should be plenty of seats for us to sit together. Yeah. Suddenly, Yuri stumbles on the steps, leaning into the bus, falling onto her hands and knees, causing her books to tumble out of her bag. I futilely reach out to grab her, but I'm not close enough to reach her in time. Ooh. People around curiously to look at the source of the commotion. Yuri quickly stands, her face flushed, as she scrambles to shove the books back in her bag. I reach down to help her. Here, let me help. Are you okay, Yuri? I'm fine. With the last of the books back in her bag, we finally enter the bus. Yuri speeds over to the first seat she sees and sits down, keeping her head down as if to avoid stares from other passengers. She adamantly continues to stare out the window as I slide into the seat after her. You sure you're alright? Other than my bruised pride and soul-crushing embarrassment? Yes, I'm fine. Despite her words, I notice a wind's breaking across her face. Well, actually... Yuri shifts her bag off her legs and gingerly touches her knees. I believe that I scraped my knees. She's wearing black leggings as usual, so her knees are covered up, but the material has got to be pretty thin. I don't doubt that you got a bit banged up back there. That was a pretty bad spill you took. Her face grows redder as I say that. Whoops, guess I should probably try not to embarrass her even more. Do you want me to take a look at it? No. Her sudden outburst startles me a bit. Sorry, I just meant that it's fine. I'll just check it when I get home and bandage it as needed. All right, if you're sure. Sorry. What for? Well, for one thing, shouting at you just now. Hey, it's all right. I know you didn't mean anything by it. Even so, she bites her lip and runs her hands through her hair. You, you also had to help me pick everything back up, and you have nothing to apologize for. As your friend, I like helping you out when I can. All this stuff is really no bother to me. It's all good. If I ever do have a problem with anything, I promise that I'll tell you, okay? So you don't have to stress out over every hidden meanings in my words, because there won't be any. I, I get it. Er, this has been so embarrassing. You've just had an unlucky day today, that's all. Try not to worry too much. Try not to worry about it too much. Easier said than done. Yuri mutters that last statement to herself, but probably intending for me to miss it. The conversation fades out after this, leaving us simply watching the scenery blur up by outside. Although we're not talking, it doesn't feel awkward between us. Just sitting here together like this, it's simple but enjoyable. After a while, though, I decided to break the silence. It's nice to physically be with Yuri, but I want to continue getting to know her better, too. By the way, it seems like exams are coming up. Hmm, it seems like we've been talking about them more and more lately. Sorry, we can talk about something else if you want. No, it's only natural that it come up in conversation. After all, we are students. Yeah, I think I've just been thinking about them more often because I think things will go well for me this time. Hmm? And why is that? Not to imply that you always do badly on them or anything. I raise an eyebrow and smirk at her. Oh, really? You know, I may not be as smart as you are, but I know how to read books real good too. Yuri's brow furrows in consternation for a moment as she processes my words. Um, you know that she pauses and looks like she's finally catching on. Oh, Richie. So you're finally learning how to read my sarcasm, eh? We start chuckling a bit together. Yuri's the first one to stop, although I soon follow suit. I suppose that's how everyone thinks of me, though. Huh? What do you mean? You don't mean that you're humorless or something, right? Yuri's mouth tightens when I say that. That's not what I was getting at, but now that you mention it, Yuri, you have a perfectly good sense of humor. But thinking about it, she isn't particularly funny person, is she? She's sweet, but she's also more serious than humorous. Either way, it doesn't matter if you're funny or not. You're you're fine just the way you are. I can't read Yuri's expression. Is she alright? Is she upset? Somehow I don't believe that the first thing people think of when I come in mind is funny. Yuri. Richie, what characteristics do you think define me? Um she's really putting me on the spot here. Well, you're pretty smart for one thing. I see. Like I'm sure you ace all your exams without much effort. That's what my teachers usually say to me as well. Why does she seem so upset about this? So what's the problem? You wouldn't think there's a problem, right? And yes, it does feel nice to be praised in this way. But it also causes people to carry certain expectations for me. Certain expectations? You mean things like people always thinking you'll do great on tests? Yes, to an extent. Getting singled out for a specific trait does nothing but color other people's perception of you. But everyone always labels everyone else. It's not like being associated with specific characteristics is a unique thing. Otherwise, how else people going to describe each other? If you are smart, am I not supposed to point that out? Well, that's true. I should have been more precise in my wording. What I mean is having one specific thing that's perpetually identifying you. Take Siri, for instance. How would you describe her? I guess I'd say she's sunny? Like, super cheerful and bubbly. And that's how you always think of her then? Well, I guess so. Where are you going with this? Don't you think that Does she ever feels unhappy, though? Or to be more exact, emotions other than happiness? Huh? I mean, maybe, but I've never seen her unhappy before. She's only ever smiled around me. Did she say something to you about me feeling bad? Don't worry, it's nothing like that. I was just using her as an example. But you see, right? Hmm? How thinking of someone in a certain way changes the thought process that are related to them? I guess so. Geez, it's kind of weird thinking about Sayori being sad. And that's precisely why I chose her as an example for you. I kind of feel bad now for thinking of Sayori like that. To return to our original subject, I feel the same way about being called smart. Not only does it cause people to think that of me two-dimensionally, but but it also turns me into a subject of comparison. I'm always expected to behave a certain way or to possess certain qualities, and that pressure is part that bothers you. And that pressure is the part that bothers you the most. Yes, you could say that. Whenever I don't know something, it makes me feel like that much more like a failure. It's stupid, I know. No pun intended. I chuckle a bit at the last statement, causing her to return a wan smile. Yuri, it's not stupid. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who feel the same way, especially other students who are always labeled as smart. Well, I'm just a normal guy myself, so no one's ever really associated me with anything in particular. But I'm sure if you talk to Monica about this, she'd be able to relate a lot. Maybe. She sighs, brushing the hair out of her eyes. I don't want people to keep seeing me this way. But at the same time, if people were to stop thinking me as intelligent, I it would it would paradoxically make me feel. It's hard to describe. Would it make you feel like you lost something special? You could say that. The window beside us reflects Yuri's pensive expression, as a pale ghost in the glass. Other than being called intelligent, I don't have too much going on for me. But then again, if I were so smart, I wouldn't keep acting so illogically all the time. Yuri squeezes her hands into fists, pressing her fingernails into her palms so forcefully that they leave little pale half-moons on her skin. I can only imagine what she's thinking about right now. She's probably running through all of her perceived missteps and blunders. Well, I think you're wrong about something. About what? I don't think you act illogically at all. The way you act is human. Yuri turns to me with a bemused expression on her face. All your idiosyncrasies are all the things you do well in, all the mistakes you may make, everything adds up to create an unmistakably human persona. And you're not simply human either. You're a gentle and kind-hearted person. You recently took care of me when I was sick. When I first joined the club, you took the time to make sure I was enjoying myself too. You didn't real I didn't realize you felt that way about being called smart, and I'm sorry if I kind of bought into that depiction of you. But just know that you're more than smart to me. You're considerate, insightful, and complex. And you're a good chef to boot. Richie. Anyway, you're a lot of things. But at the end of the day, to me, you're Yuri. I don't know where I was going with that spiel, but I'm kind of proud of myself for ending it so well. Let's hope that she found my monologue inspiring as well. She'd gone very still while I was talking, seemingly listening intently to my words. And now, well, she's blushing. So that's good. That's good. So that's got to be a good sign. As Yuri looks up to smile at me, I'm dazzled by her sparkling eyes. So thank you, Richie. I don't know what to say. Hey, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm glad to have someone like you beside me. Now it's my turn to blush. It's all good. As we approach Yuri stop, we sit in companionable silence for a bit. Richie? Uh-huh. I don't know if you realize, but exams are coming up. You're making a joke? Wow, seriously? That's the first I've heard of it. She smiles indulgently as they play along. I was thinking, why don't we study together? Hey, that's actually a really great idea. You can come over to my house after school and we can study together. Well, I don't know how much I can help you, but I'd certainly benefit from your help. Yuri nods and opens her mouth to speak, but pauses when she realizes that the bus is at her stop. Looks like I'm getting off here, then. I'll message you about the details later. I get up to let I get up to let her through. Once in once in the aisle, she steps towards the exit, but then stops to turn back to me. Goodbye, Richie. I hope you have a pleasant evening. See you at school. She smiles and then disappears into the darkness outside. Aww, that was really nice. Honestly, it feels really nice to getting back into the swing of things. You know, I know I haven't made a video at all for the past few days. Well, you know, aside from Sunday, which I take off, but you know. Ugh, I'm really starting to feel the chill of the nippy November air. But if this is any indication, it looks like winter is going to be pretty bad this year. Blowing on my hands, I start the journey to school, although I stop once I see a familiar red bow on the sidewalk. Hey, hey Richie. Morning, Yuri. Man, it's cold, isn't it? She shivers slightly, no surprise given her uniform, much like mine, which isn't really built for warmth. It really is. My hands are the worst. I'm always forgetting my gloves. Forgetting, or have you just lost them again? Same thing, really. Anyhow, how have you been recently? Yeah, pretty good, thanks. How about you? Yeah, I've been okay. This year feels like it's going by so quickly, doesn't it? Tell me about it. Since joining the literature club, it all feels like a blur. Yeah, you've really settled in, haven't you? I'm so glad that you managed to make friends with everyone so soon. Especially Yuri. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? I'm just teasing. It really looks like you two are getting along though, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we are. She's just really fun to talk to, always shrouded in mystery, so I never really know what to expect. But it's not a bad thing, you know? I was kind of surprised to see her open up to you so much. I always thought she would just keep to herself. Yeah, I guess. I'm not complaining though. I'm just glad that I managed to get her out of her shell, you know? I didn't I didn't think I'd have anything to talk to her about when we first met, but I'm glad to have been proven wrong. She's really smart and elegant, isn't she? Yeah, for sure. But I've never met anyone like her before. I was kind of scared she'd be really judgmental, because, well, we both know I'm no poet, nor do I have excessive taste in reading. But as I got to know her more and more, I felt like we actually have a lot more in common than I realized. She's really opened up my eyes to a whole new world of literature, and I'm really grateful for that. Siri is quiet for a moment, although, truthfully, I don't really notice. My brain is still preoccupied thinking about all the time I spent with Yuri. Richie? Huh? You were starting to stare up into space. Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about stuff. She looks down for a moment. What kind of stuff do you guys talk about? I never see you so lost in thoughts, so I'm guessing it was pretty deep. Would you believe me if I said books? The Awakening, to give a good example. I don't think I've heard of it. What's it about? Oh god, that's a question. Well, the main themes are about society, constraints, loneliness, expectations, that kind of thing. I didn't realize how lonely Yuri was. Discussing the book with her and drawing upon the parallels between its themes and her life really made me notice. Although in a strange way, it made me enjoy our time together. I felt like she finally had a proper friend she could talk to about her hobbies and walk around town with. I get the feeling that she doesn't really like to discuss her literary interests in much detail, which is really sad. But seeing how happy and excited she was, it really put a smile on my own face, you know? That's just like you, Richie. Always looking out for others. I remember you were like that with me when we were kids. I remember those days as well. They feel like such a long time ago, don't they? They really do. Our conversation is cut short by a school looming in sight. After bidding each other goodbye, we both make our ways to our respective classes. About half an hour passed since the start of the lesson. After explaining the task, Sakurai left us to our own devices, while he sits at the front marking some papers. It's amazing how much more engaging the material is when you actually have an interest in it. I can't exactly say I'm a history buff, but spending time with Yuri, especially when we talk about about themes has made me appreciate what the world was like during the previous century. It it's easy for us to see, but back then no one realized Germany was a breeding ground for hatred. Everything going all right, Richie? All good on my end, sir. You were right. The century really is interesting. Of course. Although it's rather unfortunate how I'm limited with how much depth I can go into, given that this is a just high school history. Anyway, I wanted to ask how you were feeling for your upcoming exams. Oof, pretty confident actually. I'm doing a lot of reading, so I reckon I'll do pretty well with the essay subjects. Well, in that case, I expect your history marks to be a true reflection of how amazing your teacher is. Sorry, teacher humor. Anyway, that's encouraging to hear. How about the sciences and mathematics? Well, not my strong suit, but I've had a few study sessions with Yuri, and I'm hoping she helps consolidate my knowledge. Ah, study sessions. You're adopting a very commendable approach to ensure you're a well-rounded student. It has nothing to do with you wanting to spend more time with Yuri, I assume. Just teasing. But for what it's worth, take it from me. You've definitely killed two birds with one stone. He winks and chuckles to himself. A warm flush courses through my cheeks as I watch him as he approaches the next student. Well, he strikes me as the kind of guy who's been in my situation before. With the sound of the bell ringing in my ears, I pack up my things and head for the literature club. After waving hello to the girls, I take a seat. Soon after, Monica kickstarts the session. Okay, everyone. As you're all aware, exams are coming up over the next few weeks. I think it would be best to put these sessions on hold. I know no one really wants to, but unfortunately we'll be too busy to run them, unless someone else wants to run these sessions in my place. There's a general murmur of conversation. It wouldn't really feel the same without you, to be honest. Agreed. I could do with more time to focus on math and stuff anyway. As much as I enjoy these lessons, they don't really help out with that. How about you, Sayori? Natsuki? Yeah, it's a shame, but I understand. Fine by me. We need to have a Christmas party, though. Like we did with Halloween? We can definitely plan that after our exams are over. For now, though, let's share a poem, shall we? That was a good session to end it on for now, guys. See you all soon. Oh, and Sayori, you wanted to talk? With that, I head to the door with Yuri in tow. Ironically enough, I find myself thinking of Sayori at this time as I walk home with Yuri. What does she think about when she walks home? I kind of feel guilty walking home with Yuri instead of Sayori. But Sayori stayed behind to talk to Monica after club meeting ended, so... Part of me is kind of glad that I get to talk with Yuri alone, though. Richie? Eh? Sorry, I sort of spaced out a bit. It's fine. You must be feeling stressed from all the exam preparation. Yeah, totally. Anyway, I was just saying. I'm glad that we did end up planning the study session together. With my help, perhaps you'll feel less stressed after today. That is to say, if you need any help at all. I'm not trying to assume anything about your capabilities or anything. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure I will need your help. How have you been, though? Reading new books? I actually did start on one fairly recently. The Stranger by Albert Camus. Huh, is it any good? It is, at least in my opinion. Simply put, it's about a man who feels like, well, a stranger in society. He's overwhelmingly indifferent to life, and as a result, freely disregards social norms. I don't know if you're familiar with Camus, but he wrote a lot on the absurd. What, like ridiculous things? More like absurdity in a philosophical sense. Well, he doesn't explicitly speak on it in The Stranger, but the novel is heavily entrenched with themes of absurdity. And they're shown through the seemingly innate irrationality of humanity through the plot's events. Funnily enough, the main character only finds happiness after realizing that there is no inherent meaning to life. Not that I actually find it funny or anything. Geez, she's always overthinking her words. It's cute when she gets flustered, but it also makes me worried for her. Well, I'll do what I can to distract her from her nerves. So that absurdity comes from the lack of purpose in the universe then? Not quite. Rather, it comes from the contradiction between the simultaneous need and the inability to find purpose. Dang, kind of a depressing subject matter, don't you think? I suppose so. But interestingly, chemists still thought that we should... Oh, trigger finger. Wait, where's history? I completely forgot. Oh, here we go. Chemists still thought that we should search for meaning to life anyway. Okay, that's what you said. Hey, want to continue a conversation inside? We start. Yuri looks out to see if we reach my house. I didn't realize we already arrived. I don't doubt that. After all, our conversation is pretty interesting. We make our way up to the front door as I rummage through my bag for the keys. Right, there they are. The lock smoothly turns with a sharp click, and with that, we're in. I toss my bag on the couch while Yuri places hers gently on the floor. As I stretch, a yawn breaks across my face. Tired already? She sits down on the couch and smiles at me in a gentle chuckle. Honestly, I'm always tired when I get home from school. I can only take so much schooling before I collapse and die. I suppose I'll need a defibrillator ready when we start studying. Hope you know CPR. I find myself slouching on the couch as we pull out our revision materials. So many notes to look over. I really don't want to start. Hey, speaking of death, you know how we were speaking about absurdism before? Isn't all that kind of similar to existentialism or nihilism? Yes, although I'd say that absurdist thought lies somewhere in between those two. For instance, existentialists would say that you can find a meaning to life. Nihilists would say you can't. Absurdists would assert that you can to some extent. So, what would you say your meaning of life is? So you're finally asking this question. To be honest, I'm not too sure. I don't think I've read through enough to form any solid conclusions. Really? You haven't read enough. It's not that hard to believe, is it? There's so many books out there I want to read, but that I may never get to. Maybe. Maybe you could say that for now. My purpose is to learn to embrace the absurd. Because then, I might be able to learn how to let go of all my self-doubts and baggage. I think that those feelings that you have are pretty relatable. There are a lot of things which we might care about that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And learning to let go of those psychological barriers is something that can possibly generate a lot of meaning, I think. So in my opinion, that's a great meaning to derive. No matter what meaning you try to make in this world, so I'll try to support you along the way. Thank you. It's difficult to put into words, but I truly appreciate all your continual encouragement. I've probably had to do a lot more introspection throughout my life. But it's reassuring to know that it's a good use of my time. I hope that someday I'll be able to grow stronger. I definitely think you have it in you to do that. Maybe. Suddenly embarrassed, Yuri shuffles her papers around as if to create a distraction. On the topic of good use of time, we should probably get to studying. Aw man, guess it can't be helped. We spread out all our textbooks and notes on the coffee table to begin deciding on where to start. But as I get ready, I notice a small smile breaking through Yuri's attempt at a serious face. Ah shoot. Pen and I had been spinning twirls out of my grasp and clatters across the table. Yuri jumps a bit, startled by a sudden noise. She must have been concentrating hard on her problem sets. It's no wonder she's a better student than me, with how incredibly focused she can get. Well, it's not like I set the bar high or anything, but she's just really diligent. She seems virtually immune to distractions and boredom. Like me, my mind probably wanders 80% of the time. You and me both, brother. It's been a while since we started, hasn't it? Looks like Yuri's picked up on how bored I am. Yeah, we actually got a lot done. Thanks for all your help with math and physics, by the way. You're welcome. Helping you solidified everything in my mind anyway, so... You don't give yourself enough credit. You're a real lifesaver. Thank you. I know that sometimes I sometimes have a hard time articulating my thoughts on certain topics, so just let me know if you need me to explain something again. Well, I think I got the gist of everything now. My stomach gurgles before I can continue talking about schoolwork. On another note, how does dinner sound? Oh, I wouldn't want to impose. Come on, I'm gonna be cooking for myself anyway. What's one more mouth to feed? Well, if you're absolutely sure. Of course I am. Actually, do you want extras to take home too? I want to make it up for your parents for keeping you away for so to your parents for keeping you away for so long. They won't need it. You needn't go that far to be a gracious host. All right then, if you're sure. You got to study a little more, or do you want to help make sure I don't burn the house down in the kitchen? I'd love to help, but she bites her lip, her cheeks pink. Would it be alright if I were to do a couple of stretches in the living room while you cooked? I apologize if this is inappropriate. Huh? You mean like some yoga? A little, although I've never specifically done yoga before. It feels quite embarrassing. It's embarrassing? As I try to imagine Yuri doing yoga, my cheeks begin to heat up. Okay, yeah, I can see why Yuri would think that about yoga. Anyway, they're just some simple stretches to help relieve some of my back and neck pain. I have terrible posture, and sitting down for extended periods of time when my back hunched over tends to make my muscles incredibly tense. Posture, huh? Yeah, sure, let's go with that. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Feel free to do your exercise in the living room then. She smiles gracefully at me. It shouldn't take too long. I ponder at my dinner options as I head to the kitchen. I do still have some frozen dumplings left, but I don't really want to make it seem like they're the only things I ever eat. As much as I love them, a man's gotta have his limits. Yeah, which is why like every day I always change up what I have for lunch. So what's another dish that I could somehow impress Yuri? Rice is always an option, but I don't know if I have anything to make side dishes with. I quickly wash the rice and pop it into the rice cooker while I think. If I still have some pre-made curry roux left in the box, then bingo! I have enough ingredients for it, so curry it is. Good thing I went grocery shopping. My mind wanders as I dice the chicken and season it. I'm not gonna slice the kitchen in two. Which kind of reminds me of when Sayori and Yuri cooked for me when I was sick. Talking to Mom about the house getting set on fire was not fun to say the least. I'm just glad she understood that they were taking care of me and that mistakes happen. Speaking of, I'd better get the stove going. After a while, I've got all the vegetables and chicken going on in the pot. All I need now is chicken stock, seasoning, and curry root, and it'll be done. Wonder how Yuri's doing. Hold on, I should focus on focus on making the food first. No need to pull a Sayori here. Oh, we're already calling it a Sayori, huh? The sweet, slightly spicy smell of curry is completely permeated the kitchen by now. It's just like when I was a kid. Back then, it'd be Dad standing here making the curry. We'd all sit around the table for dinner, talking about our days and the days ahead. I miss those times. I just need to focus on living in the here and now. All this stuff in the past. Otherwise, that wouldn't make anyone happy. I'm just gonna check on you before I continue down this train of thought. Hey Yuri, you doing okay? A sharp inhale through teeth sounds in the living room. Did I startle her? Whoops. Yeah. Her voice seems a bit strained as she answers back. I didn't accidentally mess up her stretching, did I? I'll be there in a moment. It's okay. Feel free to take as much time as you need. I'll just be here. A few minutes later, I have the curry landed in two dishes alongside fluffy white rice. As if on cue, Yuri finally enters the kitchen, sniffing the air appreciatively. Apologies for taking so long, Richie. Nah, that's fine. I've made curry before, so I've got this. It looks great, though I haven't had Japanese curry in a while. Well, feel free to dig in then. She smiles as she settles down into the meal. Eating together with Yuri feels almost like an intimate exercise. She carefully savors each bite as if she were a food critic, imprinting the dish in her memory. So, how's the food? Bring on all the critiques. I'm strong enough to handle them. Your curry turned out quite well. Although, I believe you could have used some more salt and maybe a bit more heat. Ah, so you're into spicier dishes, eh? Well, when it comes to curry, I suppose so. My mother did always prefer spicier foods, and that ended up influencing my own tastes. I'll keep I'll keep that in mind next time I cook dinner for you. My own parents like sweeter curries, probably because I don't have much of a spice tolerance to begin with. There's no time like the present to begin building up that tolerance. You've you've got me there. Oh wait. Anyways, if you're finished, I can take care of the dishes. Oh no, you're the one who treated me, so I should wash them. I can't allow myself to be such a bother. Hey, it's seriously no bother at all. But alright, if you're not backing down, then how about a compromise? I can wash the dishes and you can dry them. That works. We gather up all dishes pots and dump them in the sink. It doesn't take long for us to settle in a comfortable rhythm of washing and drying the dishes. However, my attention drifts more and more apt towards Yuri as time passes on. At one point, I'm looking over in her direction more than I am at the dishes themselves. Well, she'll probably call me out if my washing gets too sloppy. She's got that deep look of concentration on her face. It's pretty amazing how she can get lost in doing things from studying to reading to even doing the dishes. That's something to be seriously admire about her. She has an unwavering ability to completely devote herself to, to her tasks at hand. Somehow, I can never see her giving anything up halfway, the, through or halfway through, or leaving her work unfinished. Honestly speaking, it's a quality that I like that a lot more people need. Richie? Huh? What's up? You've been washing your hands for almost a minute now. Wait, what? I look down and see that I've literally scrubbing my hands with a sponge. Oh, sorry. I was just. Were you lost in thought? Yeah, I guess you can say that. Sorry. No need to apologize. You know how often it happens to me after all. I'm surprised that you were that preoccupied with your daydreams though. What were you thinking about, if you don't mind my asking? Well, I'm more surprised that Yuri isn't commenting about my staring at her, but it's good to know that I'm more than stealthy than I thought. Either that, or she's grown a lot more used to me at this point. Oh, I was just thinking about how nice the day has been. Yes. Ah, yes. It's been lovely studying with you today. It's always been nice. It's always nice being with you. I never find it difficult to talk to you, and you always make me feel comfortable being myself. Yeah, same here. We stare at each other for a moment, our blushing faces breaking into smiles. Richie. Hmm? May I use your restroom? She shuffles away for a bit, clearly keen to rush away to the bathroom. That wasn't what I expected her to say, but if she needs to go, then of course, Yuri. You know where it is, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Quick footsteps follow her upstairs to the restroom. Well, don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess I'll head back to the living room. It's not too late in the day yet, but it's already dark out. What's taking Yuri so long? Should I check on her? Shoot, I really hope my curry didn't upset her stomach somehow. I should probably see how she's doing just in case. Uh-oh. Just as they make it to the top, Yuri steps out of the bathroom. Oh, Richie! Her breathing seems a bit irregular, but and she looks noticeably more disheveled than I remember. She must have noticed my concerned gaze as she turns away. Is there something on my face? Um, you were just taking a really long time, so I wanted to check if you were okay. I'm fine, but thank you for your concern. Her breathing is still suspiciously uneven. Are you sure? I said I'm fine. I mean, she takes a deep breath. Sorry for snapping at you. I'm just feeling a little out of the sorts. Ooh. No, I should be the one apologizing. I didn't mean to pry. Although, I don't even know what I'm prying into. It must be serious, though, if Yuri's getting this irritable. It's no problem, Richie. We're qu- we're quiet as we're quiet as we make our way back downstairs. I wonder what she's thinking. It's starting to get a little late now. Yep, I was just about to ask if you wanted to pack up and head out. I probably should. I don't want to keep you up too late on a school night. Don't worry about it. I wish we could just hang out forever, but life has other plans. A light blush tinges on Yuri's pale cheeks as she continues putting her books away. Hmm. Not to mention the bus schedule. Yeah, we can't have you missing that now, can we? There's a soft look in Yuri's eyes as she finally takes her bag and moves to stand beside me. I believe I'm ready now. Alright then, let's go. Walking to the nearest bus stop, our pace is fairly unhurried. But that's alright. It's nice, leisurely walking through the night with Yuri by my side. Upon reaching the bus stop, we sit down and look up at the clear sky. Countless stars twinkle down from the endless ocean of the night. The darkness seems all but more deep and unfathomable when compared to the luminous moon. A melancholy gaze graces Yuri's face, her eyes shining in the starlight. Hey, Richie, isn't it strange to think that some of those stars we're seeing could already be dead? We just haven't realized it yet. And we may die long before we ever realize it. Humans are eph- ephemeral creatures, aren't they? You talk as though you're not a human yourself. But it seems kind of poetic. Our being able to appreciate and remember those stars' glory even after they disappear. Even though we might be short-lived in relation to the rest of the universe, I think it's lucky that we'll still be able to experience such beauty. That's a beautiful way of seeing it, Richie. You're right. People who die, we should be thankful that we were able to spend time with all of them. From dead stars to dead people, huh? I wonder if Yuri's experienced loss before. Looking back at her, though, it's clear that she's once again drifted off in her thoughts. Not even the bus's arrival seems to distract her. Hey, Yuri, the bus is here. Oh, you're right. I hadn't noticed. Bus is pretty empty, although that's to be expected. Most people get off before it reaches the residential areas. Yuri takes the window seat and I slide in the seat next to her. The night sky outside is still as dark as ever, but now it's filtered by the fluorescent light reflecting off the window. Yuri yawns politely, covering her mouth as she does so. Excuse me, I'm just feeling incredibly tired all of a sudden. Yeah, same here. We were pretty productive today, weren't we? Mm-hmm. A few moments pass by quickly, with the two of us swaying gently along with the bus. Without a word passing between us, Yuri starts leaning into me. At this point, my nose has started to fill with the scent of lavender, mint, and lilac. Although I might not be sure what the scents exactly are, what I do know is that it smells nice. Besides, it just feels so right. I can't help but feel totally relaxed, and the warm fuzziness inside me causing my perception of time to slow to a glacial pace. A glacial pace. Suddenly, Yuri sits back up with a jolt. Sorry, I didn't realize I was dozing off. It's perfectly okay. I can stay awake and keep an eye out for your stop if you want to close your eyes for a bit. No, I'm fine. She sure doesn't sound fine. Yuri practically can't keep her eyes on open anymore. I'm not sleepy at all. Her voice has dropped down to a murmur, and she hastily makes an attempt at rubbing sleep from her eyes. Wake me up if I fall asleep again, okay? Alright, got it. With that, we fall back into a cozy silence. Within a few minutes, Yuri is nodding off once again. She feels so utterly warm beside me, it's making my heart race. There's a certain tranquility about the vulnerability of her expression when she's sleeping. Yuri must be really tired to be completely fall asleep like this. I hate to interrupt her well-deserved sleep. After all, she's helped me a lot today, and she should get her rest. Plus, it feels really nice to have her sleep with her head on my shoulder. But she did ask me to wake her up again. She might just be too polite or want to sleep against me, but then again, she might also wants me to respect her wishes. I'm probably overthinking this. I'll just let her sleep, wake her up. I mean, she did ask us to wake her up, right? That is what she asked. Yeah, yeah, wake her up. Psst, hey, Yuri. Ah. Her eyes fly open as they swiftly sits back up, leaving behind only a memory of the warmth on my side. So sorry about that, and thank you for waking me up. I didn't think that I'd be this drowsy. No problem. Want to talk to keep you from falling asleep again? Sure, that seems like a good idea. So what would you like to speak about? I didn't really think that far. Yuri shoots me an amused smile before looking out the window again. May I ask you a silly question? Ask away. Do you think that after graduation we'll all still remain close? Even if we go to different universities and don't get to spend time together? Of course, Yuri. Even if our futures take us in different paths, I'm not going to let something like distance stop us from being friends. Truth is, I put more thought into this ever since I talked to everyone about about our futures. But I decided that no matter what, I still want to stay friends with everyone. And that goes double for Yuri. Yuri gives a gentle smile and scoots an inch closer to me. Sure, sometimes we might be far away from each other, but we got phones and planes and trains and cars. If I didn't have any other way, I'd still take the time to walk to see you. To be honest, that's comforting to hear. Although, we'll still have less time to spend together once we graduate, right? Well, I like to think that we're good enough friends to not let some silly like graduation get between us. Yes, that's true. Sorry, I just get anxious about these things. Nah, it's probably something that everyone worries about. I don't think anyone wants to lose touch with their friends after graduation. Hmm. Yuri proceeds to look out the window, lost in thought. Sometimes I think about all the memories we lose as we grow older. For instance, I know that there are some important things that my father told me before, but I can never quite recall them. Wonder how much I'll remember of today in 20 years' time. Her voice softens as she speaks, lowering to a husky timbre. I want to say something comforting to her, but I don't know the right words. Well, you can always just ask your dad about it again, right? I think as long as you keep in touch with people and don't take anyone for granted, you'll be able to continue making happy memories with everyone. Story flashes through my mind for a moment as I say this. I suppose so. On another note, I believe my stop is coming up. As the bus nears Yuri's stop, she goes through her bag to check that everything is in place. You didn't forget anything, did you? No, thankfully not. Want me to walk you home? No, I wouldn't want you to go that far out of your way. She looks down for a moment, scuffing her shoe against the floor. Thank you. What for? There's a hesitation before she answers, but she quickly shoots me a bittersweet smile. For putting up with me, perhaps. I'm sorry, it's just a rather difficult topic for me to discuss. It's nothing against you, of course. Don't worry, I get you. There's no need to rush to tell me. You have all the time in the world. Your patience is forever appreciated. No problem. If you ever feel like talking, just let me know and I'll listen. Her expression relaxes as she slowly takes a deep breath. That means a lot to me, Richie. With a slow wheeze, the bus finally stops to let Yuri off. Well, I have to get going now. Thank you for everything. You don't have to thank me all the time, you know. You don't have to thank me all the time, you know. I'll see you tomorrow, Yuri. Waving one last time, Yuri ducks out of the bus and into the cool night air. Whew. Okay. Well then, I think this is a pretty good way to come back to YouTube. Like I know the YouTube blackout lasted only a day, but I sort of extended it for myself because I needed a bit of a break. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video here for now. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason.